All right, boys and girls, welcome aboard. It's time for another episode of State of the Atmosphere. All right, welcome aboard. It's time for State of the Atmosphere. I am your host, Joe's Atmosphere. It's always good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us over on that green place. Rhymes with Bumble. They don't like us to say that all of a sudden on YouTube, but hey, we're going to keep showing it over there. So we're also on X. So welcome aboard, everybody. I hope you're having a good evening. And as usual, I've got my mates along with me, starting with Knock. How you doing, man?
Hello, pretty good. That this awesome time of the week.
Yeah, yeah. It's hump day. We got half the work week under our belts. We're good to go.
Mhm.
All right. And next up, we got new to the show, Jason from
Hey,
540 Studio. What's going on, man? How you doing?
hello. I'm doing pretty well, man. Doing pretty well. Happy to be here, and no, just been keeping busy, making music, and then also other stuff that I do in the back, because we are a studio, so we do everything from film, video, music, and it's a lot of things, and so just keeping busy with things.
Do you have a banjo?
I don't have a banjo, no.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
I can ask my
I-
team, my bandmate, but I don't have
okay.
one.
That's unfortunate, but okay, I'll support
One
you.
of my favorite bits I've ever seen a comedian do is Steve Martin. Telling if people were out of work, he said we should just give them a banjo because it's impossible to be not to be happy with a banjo, right? Okay, and last but not least, Das Wolfen made it tonight. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey.
Mhm.
Oh, you're muted, buddy. Your mic is messing up on you again.
Blink
That happened
twice
to
if
me.
you're okay.
StreamYard might have done something to their stuff earlier today because when I came on for the first time, they couldn't hear me either. So
Yeah,
check your StreamYard setting too. Make sure you got the right mic on because anyway, it's good
I
to
have to do
see you
that too.
guys. We get all of our pop culture stuff for this week, and we got to start with the pop culture update.
Well, hang on, Joe.
And
I got to take advantage of this. Apparently, uh, you know, I heard John was kind of giving up on the Chiefs.
is that what it is?
Yeah, I heard he didn't like them anymore. I think he didn't like that new wide receiver they got. I felt like
Okay. No, no,
Oh, he fixed it.
no.
As soon as you start talking smack about the Chiefs, the friggin'
Yeah.
microphone starts
Yeah,
working.
that's
Oh,
when it
what a
works.
coincidence! It starts working. Yeah, okay.
How you doing, John? How was work?
I'm doing good. It was a lot. I moved several hundred pounds of computers today, so
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, it's time to relax, man. Time to relax. Okay, so we're gonna start off like we always do. Let's check out the chat. Who's in here? Oh, it's Mikey Sue's for. What's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him during the show. Definitely, he was one of the guys on the thumbnail. If you noticed, we're definitely gonna do a little tribute to him because he look, man. I guess the closest guy to him these days. What do you think, John? Huey Bowl, is that his name? I can't remember that guy's name. It's
no, because Roger Corman actually made decent movies.
Yeah, he did. He did. Gridiron Masters is here too. It's good to see you, brother. How you doing? So anyway, we're gonna start with the box office numbers like we always do. Let's check that out real quick as soon as I get this up and running. Of course, I got to add the sound tonight because, boys and girls, if you missed the trailers that have been dropping 100 miles an hour, we're going to show a lot of them tonight. So just stay tuned and check it out. This weekend, King of the Planet of the Apes, which Knock and I will be reviewing later on. John, did you make it to see this one or no?
Not yet.
Okay. What about you, Jason? Have you seen that one yet?
I haven't, and the reason is because I'm not a big Godzilla or King
I
Kong
got you.
guy,
I
and
got you. Yeah.
yeah,
I wasn't really
me
interested in this one either. I
too.
really wasn't. But I'm a fan of the series. I loved the last trilogy they did with Caesar. I thought that was really cool. And
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by this one. Of course, we'll go over all that when we
Yeah.
do the.
No, the one I liked the most of them was the first one with James Franco. I thought that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the best
The
one.
you're talking about the current edition of them. Yeah, that one.
But yeah,
What was it? Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I think it is. Yeah, that was a good one. That was really good. I thought it was interesting that they were trying to cure Alzheimer's when they made the apes smarter than us, right? Yeah, pretty neat stuff, man. Sign of the time.
And then made us dumber.
And then made us dumber. Yes, exactly. Clay Thomas is waving at us. Good to see you, man. Okay, so it made 58.4 million this weekend, which was a lot better than Fall Guy did the week before. You see, Fall Guy, it's still in double digits. Don't know if word of mouth is going to get that movie over the hump. They spent a lot of money on that movie, though.
yeah.
We'll see what happens. I liked Fall Guy. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, I've not seen it. I only know I have some
it's-
friends who wanted to watch it, but
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
The
Mike's
first act is awful, but after that, it gets a little better.
yeah, right. Yeah, it did. It started off slow, but I'm a big fan of real stunts and real stuntmen doing them and stuff. So
I love a lot of stuntmen and stunt women because they do such great jobs in
They
films
do,
and TV shows.
and they should get Oscars. Damn it, they should.
They should have their own Oscar when they do Oscars. They should have for the stunt teams.
Yeah,
man.
but then
They
like
really
Tom
should.
Cruise would win those too. So I mean,
Yep.
we don't need another category of Tom Cruise winning. So.
But rounding out the top five are a couple of single digit million ones. Challengers, Terra, and Godzilla is still hanging on the bottom rung on the top five. There, it's
And that's how
done
that's
good
out.
though. It's
That's
done
out.
good though.
You can rent that right now. So like you can.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
and
already
people are
out on
still going to
digital.
see it.
Yeah.
That the fact that it made $2 million is shocking.
Godzilla -1 is always going to be better.
Yeah.
I couldn't
and
get into it.
I can't wait to see it. I mean, are we going to have a streaming release for that here in the States? Do you know, John? Or
I don't know, but I think it's already on Blu-ray
is it
in
okay.
Japan, but not here.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to get it over here so we can see what's going on with it because I keep hearing great things about it, and I'm a Godzilla
It is
fan.
good.
I'm just
It's one of the best Godzilla movies I have seen, and for me, who is not a biggest fan of it normally, but that movie just made me like, yep, I'm just gonna stick with the Japanese original stuff, and I want to go back and watch everything of the old Godzilla and all that kind of
Right.
stuff they did back in the day.
right. Knock just did that recently, I believe. You were in the middle of doing that, weren't you, Knock? Watching it from the beginning.
Yeah. I've taken kind of a break because there's just so much to watch right now.
There is a lot. Yeah.
And I can't watch it by itself because it's all subtitles. So I usually like to like play a game or something while I'm watching this stuff. I can't deal with that. I gotta actually focus on just that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you have to
Japanese
focus.
The good thing about it is they're just an hour and a half, so it's a lot. It's
Right,
A lot
they're short.
Best
like-
thing, just learn Japanese.
There you go.
August 1st is the Blu-ray release here in the U.S.
August 1st. All right. Well, we are going to get it. Very good. Cool. Hopefully Max will get it before then. We'll be able to watch it on that. Okay. So once again, except for Fall Guy and Kingdom of the Planet, not many people going to the movies. Hollywood is finding out quickly they're going to have to make some good stuff to get us out to the theater. No doubt about that. And we've already been detailing on this show, Jason, that there's a contraction going on in Hollywood right now, and there's a lot of people going to be out of work, because they're cutting back, man. They're finding out that, of course, this is just my thinking on it. Their rush to the streaming venue has totally lopped off their knees at the box office. nobody's going unless it's something huge like a Kingdom
Yeah,
of the Planet.
that's how it is for a lot of when it comes to cinema and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like here in Norway too. The same stuff happened here. Here, I have worked at the cinema before, and I still have friends who works in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
So I normally get some small updates here and there how it goes and stuff, and it doesn't go really well. It has to be like a really big movie and stuff like that before people really want to go.
Yeah.
Last time I went to the cinema, what did I watch? Oh, I don't remember what I just remember it was me and 4 other people in the cinema when I it was Dune. It was Dune Part 2.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this was the premiere where I live.
Yeah.
And it was only me and 4 other people in the big, the big
Wow.
cinema there. And even that movie was not big enough to like get more people. And this was the premiere day. Think about
Mhm.
that. Premiere day
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
not big enough to get people to go there. People
Yep.
like, we're gonna wait to go when it goes to streaming. And I think that's sad because cinema is a good fine place to go and relax, watch a movie, and just I love the cinema. But
Mhm.
unfortunately
I don't know
it's
about relax. I mean, especially when it's a Saturday night. Yeah, I ain't messing around with those fucking teens. But
But yeah, I get you. Yeah, there's certain movies I'm going to go to the theater to see because there's no better way to see it if you ask me. Dune Part 2 was one of the ones that I went and saw twice.
Of course, yeah.
I went and
Yeah,
saw it
that
the
is a
opening
cinema
weekend.
experience,
Yeah.
It's a cinema experience with those movies, and that's so sad. So sad that people don't go to the cinema because the experience you will get with certain movies like that is just like
Mm-hmm.
it's incredible. The sound, the 4K and everything. When you
Mm-hmm.
look at the screen, it's just amazing.
Well,
What?
it's immersive. It's immersive. I told these guys a story before, but my daughter came home one time and Jaws was playing at our local independent film.
Mm.
The independent movie house we have here, and it shows a lot of old movies.
Oh, I
And
love that.
they were showing Jaws, the
Oh,
original
the
one
first
by
one?
Steven Spielberg. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she had seen it plenty of times before. She goes, I don't want to go see that, Dad. I said, no, you're going to go with me to see this so you can see what it looks like on a big screen in a darkened theater. And when we walked out, she was like, yeah, that's totally different. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, right.
well, I don't think the theaters themselves are the problem. I think it's the people. One, there's families, and going to one of these things, it's the concessions. The popcorn costs more than the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
because
true.
it
is true.
costs
That's how
more
they
and
make
more
their
and
money.
more.
They don't make money from these freaking movies. They got to share the profits or the ticket sales
Yep.
and all that good stuff. They don't make
Yeah.
money from that. They make money from the concession stands that they uppriced 200%.
And it
You know,
just gets worse and worse with the prices too, man. It doesn't go down. He will just get worse and worse, unfortunately.
and they do that really like slimy thing where you got the small is like $6.75 and the medium $7.50, and then for the best value the large is $8.25, right, for a large
Mhm.
popcorn. So they
Right.
bunch them together, but the lowest one is so expensive that you think you're getting a deal with the upper ones, but that's not real. It's a trick. It's just a
Yeah.
trick of the
That is
trade.
a trick I can say that for a person who's worked in the cinema. Yes, there's a lot of tricks they do.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely.
However, they were nice enough to let me take half a bag of popcorn, put butter in it, and then fill up the rest of it and put butter in it.
That's
There
good.
you go. Very
Overnight.
nice. That'll work. All right. Next one we want to talk about is one that Knock brought to us. It says celebrity. Who is this from? Board Panda. I don't think I've ever
Yeah,
heard
don't
of
worry
this
about the
site.
source.
Never, never
let's-
heard of it.
Literally the first article I saw about it. I wouldn't worry.
I like the name though, Board Panda.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
Celebrity worship is over. People are blocking celebrities on social media amid tone deaf Met Gala. What is this talking about, buddy boy?
Yeah, so Joe was like, "You want to talk about the Met Gala? What the hell? We're not fashionistas." What do you mean? I was like, "Okay, well, I don't want to talk about the gala itself so much
Mhm.
as the fallout of it." And I just thought it was funny because they were basically, if you look at any TikTok videos on this Met Gala thing, they're playing the music while they're like walking around doing their ridiculous outfits, playing the theme, or not theme, but the songs of the the poor people in the Hunger Games singing.
That makes so
Yep.
much sense, man.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
So you get this like
Uh,
eerie song playing while these freaking crazy rich people are celebrating their own farts.
Yeah.
And to let me share this real quick.
Yeah, please do. We
So
want to see this.
this is this is just an example of it. Okay, now
Oh,
Camila
God.
Cabello is gorgeous, by the way,
Yes, she
but
is.
she's carrying a quote unquote purse here. It's basically a brick of ice with a pretty flower in it. This cost about $22,000. This brick of ice.
$22,000 for a piece of ice that's going to melt. Scroll
So
up and show them
Yep.
her hand.
yeah,
It's
well, I was
covered in
going to
water.
now. You guys can choose where you want to look with your eyeballs because it's kind of.
Yes.
But
It's
what I wanted to
revealing,
point,
people.
what I actually want to point you to is you can kind of
If you're
see.
not gay,
I
you're
wish
gonna love this.
I wish, but you can actually see. You can actually see it on her fingernail over here a little bit too. But you can see two bumps right here. That's not
Yes,
like
it's
that's
melting.
not. Yeah, that's not like her skin or something. That's the water from this
Yep.
German. Apparently, it's some special German water. Which I think is funny.
Ay vey.
But basically, as she's carrying it around, it's melting in her hand, and I thought to me it seemed really funny because this is the cost of this thing that's melting in her hand is me working at Walmart for 1 year. Back when I
Yeah.
worked at Walmart, like this is literally a year's salary, a year's pay right here for that block of ice.
This is what Rome looked like before the end.
Right? This is what Rome looked like before the end of it. Yeah.
Yes.
The Caligula
oh my god,
years, right?
that's some high quality H2O. Yes,
High quality H2O, my man. Just
that-
what
the
they
gal-
are.
The gala things has become Hunger Games. Everything there, it has become Hunger Games. So
Mhm.
Did any guys wear actual pants this year? Because every picture I saw was some guy in a dress.
Yeah, right. They're all.
I mean, there was
some
I don't know if there were any
people-
guys there, but yeah, sure.
that I have looked through the
Yeah.
pictures and stuff like that. There are men who are actually wearing pants, but what the hell they're wearing, I have no goddamn clue what they're trying to be. But I can just say it like this, and you guys can use me as a diversity since I'm bisexual. So you could just use me as a diversity here and shield. They look really goddamn gay. More gay than gay. I can
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, I tell you, yeah, I don't know if it's just trendy or what, man. You see LeBron James in a skirt these days. It's just really
Yeah.
weird, man.
So
I
weird,
don't
man.
I don't get fashion these days. I really don't. I don't know what's up with that. Oh man, Christopher Moonlight Productions. What's up, man? He must be working. I know he's on this thread. You can come in if you want to, man.
Oh my
German
God.
ice gathered from tears. Oh, maybe the joke is too
yeah,
edgy.
we can't go that.
Yeah,
We can't go that
exactly.
far.
Yeah.
We can't go that far. That's
But yeah, man, I know what you're talking about. They are tone deaf. They live in a totally different world than we do, man. They have
Yeah.
no clue what's going on with the rest of us. They really don't. It's
They
ridiculous.
don't know what fashion is either. None of them
No.
do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
crazy. All right, so hang on one second. I've got to reshare this stuff so I can start adding sound. Let's see. Let me get this.
I just thought the whole thing was funny. That's why I wanted to.
Yeah, and that's cool. I'm glad glad you brought it up, man. That's why I always send out that day, what's going on with the show and tell you to send me your stuff.
So wait, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
let me do this. So this I got actually at the theater.
Mm-hmm.
When we went, I saw this poster on the ticket stand, and
Hang on. Gotcha. Yeah.
So I saw that on ticket. So I asked them if you guys got any more of this. I just thought it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
It is cool looking. Yeah.
It's always fun to have posters from the cinema.
And
when
so
you can.
they, and so yeah, they just gave it to me. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's very cool, man. Very cool. We got another look.
somewhere.
This is the week of trailers, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And at one point, yesterday it was like trailer wars, but I'll get into that here in a minute. The first one that I've got for us to take a look at is Dune Prophecy. It's a teaser released as prequel series gets fall premiere on Max. Apparently they're going to do a prequel
But why do we need it? It's
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, because content, don't you know? Maybe Zaslav's planning on doing like Disney Plus now that he's in cahoots with them. You do know that they're going to be bundled where you can buy
yeah,
them
no,
all
I know
at
what you
once
mean.
now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but sometimes I just think like we don't need prequel to everything,
right.
and to more people like we can use like my father and other people who are like more simple movie watchers, just like they don't want to go and watch prequels on prequels and oh this happened and this happened. You
Yeah.
have to do the research to understand a
I
movie.
feel like if you do it a certain way, it's okay. Because like if you took Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes by itself, it's 300 years in the future, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's standalones enough to where and look at Fallout. How many people know about the lore of Fallout?
Exactly. But you need to do it in a
I
smart
think it
way.
can work, but it
You need
just
to do it in
depends
a
on how you do
smart way. A
it.
smart
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to watch a movie, you don't need to have all the information what have happened before. It's dialogue, there's story there, so you already get to know what have happened
Yeah, if you want
before.
to do that, you just go to Disney. So,
Oh
and you can watch
God.
all their TV shows, every single one of them.
And the shorts and everything. And don't forget the comics they used to do for the movies too.
Right. Well, this one is a minute and a half. I figured we'd check it out real quick. So let's
All
take a
right.
look at Prophecy. This is just a teaser. It's going to be on Max. A second.
I was gonna say something mean, but I'm not.
Don't
Yeah,
say
yeah,
anything mean to me.
Not to you.
I don't have a producer, man. I have to do this all myself.
No,
Come on,
not about you. I don't know Jason well enough to say this, so I'm not going to. I'll say it.
Oh,
Jason has got thick
Hey.
skin. Don't worry about it, man. He can.
Hey, dude, I can say it like this: nothing in the world can offend
All
me,
right.
man.
Here's the joke. It's lowbrow. Okay, that screen was straighter than Jason. That's what I was going to say.
Oh yeah, right.
I didn't know if I could pull that one off. I don't know him well enough, so I was like, I don't know.
You're
No.
good. You're good,
Dude,
man. You're
if you ever
absolutely
watch
good.
our channel, we are 18 plus, man. We use every word in a sentence that exists, and we say
Yeah,
every.
there you
Okay,
go.
I'm still learning you. Don't worry. I'll get my licks in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can get the. Yeah, I see what I did when I was so busy looking at that damn purse melting on that girl's arm. I forgot to turn on the damn
You
sound.
want to melt over her, so she has to.
Right, that's
undress.
it. That's it. That's it exactly. Let's see. Let's get that up to full screen. And come on, sucker. God, this mouse pad I've got, my wife made me, and half of it's got vinyl on it, so it kind of messes up the mouse. Okay, here we go. Let's check this out. This is Prophecy.
Oh, what's his name again? The actor. What's his name again?
Mark Strong.
Mark Strong.
Mark Strong, exactly. I've always said that if he was ever gonna play in Star Wars,
Mhm.
he would have been a good Darth Bane.
I wonder why this is not playing the sound. That's really weird.
Sorry, I'm playing.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
I'm playing the I'm playing the video on my side so I can hear the sound.
And it's got sound? Okay. Then hang on, guys. Talk amongst yourselves real quick. The visuals look cool on it, though. I do want to hear
Visuals
this,
looks
though.
decent. But again, the Dune movies also have good visuals, though. So they have to, of course, keep the good visuals and not not step down on that, because that would be a bad
There
choice.
it goes.
Oh, there we go.
I figured it out. Okay. Now we can start over. All right. Sorry about that, guys. When I was setting up, apparently I muted that one tab. So I had to do it on the tab part of it. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's try this one more time. Take two. 10,000 years before. Yeah, if anything was made for prequels, it's this story right here, because it takes place over thousands of years, man. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, John.
10,000 years. I think that's the end of the Butler and Jihad, where they had the war against the AI.
Is that? Ooh, that would be cool if they're doing that, man. Woof. If you don't know the lore, John, explain that real quick. Yeah,
the reason
why they have mentets. Yeah.
The reason why they don't have computers and stuff is because 20,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago, there was this war called the Butler and Jihad, where the machines tried to wipe out humanity.
And they were actually created by the House Atreides, weren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they escaped on the Battlestar Galactica.
Right. Because it wasn't linked to the internet and stuff. It was all analog. I wonder who that girl is. We'll have to look it up. She looked kind of like the girl that played Catwoman in the last Batman movie. Not the Batman, the one that Nolan made. What the hell is
You
her
talking
name?
about? I know who we're talking
I mean,
about.
she's fine as hell, man. Won an Academy Award for the musical Les Miserables.
I keep thinking Jennifer Garner. That's not right.
No, it's not Jennifer
It's-
Garner.
I mean, Dark.
I'm
Anne
having a
Hathaway.
senior moment.
Anne
Anne
Hathaway.
Hathaway. That's it. Yeah.
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 That's
Ooh,
what it
right
looked
there.
like under that veil. I don't know if that's her, but it looked like her. So it's going to be Game of Thrones, Dune
No,
style.
no. This is
Yeah.
the Game of Dunes.
Okay,
Game
so
of Dunes?
Travis Fimmel is also there. That
This is-
makes me more excited because
There you
he's
go.
known for Viking as Ragnar and all
Yep.
that kind of stuff, and I
Mhm.
love him as an actor. So
Yeah, there you
the
go.
cast,
Sisterhood above all.
What? Are they
This
saying
is-
sisters
It's
before dudes or something? Is
Yeah.
that- instead of bros
Host
before
before bros.
hoes before bros. That's
yeah.
it.
uh, but for me, the trailer, made me interested at least. That
Yeah.
I want to watch it. I want to give it a chance, just see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
casting is
Yeah,
not
we got
bad.
another 3 years before we get any new Dune movies. So hey, 3-5 years.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. It is
I
going to be a
don't-
while before
I
we
don't
get
think
that.
this is with the title Dune Prophecy. I think it's more about the setup for the Quetzalcoatl Haderach, which is what Paul Atreides is. Well, actually, technically, his son.
I was fixing to say we don't want to give too much away for the rest of the story here. Don't
but-
spoil it for him, man.
But basically, they're supposed to be a super being that they're trying to create.
Yeah.
And the prophecy says that it'll come out of the Atreides line.
Right. Absolutely. That's it. Okay. So yeah, I'm interested in it. And I'm gonna have to check and see if that's Anne Hathaway underneath that thing.
It wasn't. I was
Oh.
looking at the cast. So I'm
Oh,
sorry.
were
to
you?
dis-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll have to check it out, man. We'll have to check it out. Okay. The next story we've got, and this is an interesting one for I don't know if you watch American football over there, or not, Jason,
No,
but
no.
this one is interesting to us because yeah, man, we're football fans. And Netflix is getting their hands on everything. Of course, it was
Oh,
announced earlier
really?
this year that they are going to have Raw, the longest
Yeah,
running wrestling show that
next year.
WWE has, starting in January. Well, apparently they're landing the Christmas Day games.
They're getting everything now with
Yeah,
sport and all this
they're
kind of
getting the
stuff.
Christmas games in the NFL. So
Chiefs versus
mean-
Steelers.
is that one of the Christmas games?
Chiefs versus Steelers. Yep. Christmas Day.
Really? Huh. How many games are they playing on Christmas? Or is it just one game?
I'm sure it's probably 2 or
I
3.
think it was 4. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. I think I saw 4, but I could.
4 on Christmas Day? I mean, it's at the end of the season. Some of the games might matter by then. Some of them might not. They keep extending the season. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that
And
does.
that's
I mean,
on a Wednesday too. That's weird.
yeah, and the thing about it is kind of like the prime games they have. The NFL's going to more and more paid services, and I don't know how I feel about that, man. They've always had a product that you've been able to watch for free, but they're getting more and more of these premium things going on. What is going on, Comic Relief Crusader?
Hey, brother.
He says, "So
Mhm.
chicks before dicks." There it
Well,
is.
yeah, now you
Yeah.
got you got Netflix now, and you got Peacock, which is the dumbest thing ever. You got Prime, and then it's just like, what, dude?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what's so
You're
great?
clearly putting this out to everyone, so obviously
The one good thing is that when it comes to like Netflix, is that they can also share it, more over the world also, and that's what they're gonna do with WWE and all that kind of stuff
Mhm.
too. Because for me, example, I live in Norway. We have no programs with
Mhm.
wrestling, nothing in Norway. We used to have, but nothing.
And Jason's a wrestling fan from way back,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he would probably get it if it was there. So.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I used to watch it since I was a kid with my dad. We used to have it, every there and then it was mostly replays, not always live, but it was a lot of replays they had on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So they had it so much, and sometimes they had live, and suddenly they just stopped. And for many years, a lot of us Norwegians have been complaining, who loves wrestling, complaining and complaining. Where can we watch it? And
Mm-hmm.
I need to use like certain websites to like watch it because like we have nothing.
Right.
But since they're gonna go to Netflix next year, and that also talked about it's gonna go through the rest of the world. And that's good because then I can finally watch it on Netflix.
Right.
Also.
And I don't know if you've seen what's happened since Endeavor took it over, since the UFC is involved now with
Yeah.
WWE.
Yes.
They're doing all their pay-per-views in foreign countries now. They're using the pay-per-views as a way to market the WWE to different places. So I think in the future, you're going to have more and more access to it outside the US.
Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. We need it.
I think Backlash was in Australia, I think, a couple weeks ago. And I think the next one is going to be in Paris, isn't it? I think the next one's in Paris, the next pay-per-view that they're having there, I think. But yeah, they're bouncing them all over the place. The way it's looking, they may only have the majors like SummerSlam and WrestleMania in the States. The others, they're gonna go all around the world with it, which is gonna give you guys more access to it.
Yeah, and I also know that
cool thing.
I also know they are going to Germany, in Berlin in August.
Yeah.
And I don't live far away, I can just take the boat over, and
Right.
I normally travel to Germany. So I'm like, you know what? I really want to try to get tickets and actually go and watch it. I know WWE was in Norway once, but I didn't know before it was done. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Right. Their European tour, it's usually Great Britain. And, I'm not sure where else they go, but I'm pretty sure they have one called Clash at the Castle that they're doing pretty regularly now. And I can't remember if that's in Scotland.
Yes,
England.
That's Scotland. Yeah,
I think it's in Scotland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Scotland. I remember that. So, yeah.
But anyway, you're going to get more and more access. And, as the thing this is going to be good. This move by the NFL to, let's face it, what the NFL really wants to do is go global. They've been playing games in Europe for a long time now. I think, how many games are they playing in Germany this year, guys? I think it's going to be a couple. They've been doing them in England 3 times a year, but they added a Germany game last year. We'll have to take a look and see what they're
doing Brazil this year.
What is it?
There's Brazil this year too.
They're doing one in Brazil and South America.
Brazil.
Wow.
Yep.
And there's also, a lot of people in the EU here who wants to watch, American football, wrestling, and other stuff too that follows all this. But so it's good they have to go global. It's really they will also get a lot more money from it, and they will get a lot more, the viewership will go up, and there's so many good things that can happen with it.
Well, man, the talent pool will go up and all kinds of things. Yeah.
Well, listen, we know why Jason wants to watch it because of those tight pants. But listen, all right. But no, I think the problem with this whole thing is the constant move towards behind the paywall thing. And the fact that we're spreading it out even more. So what is the point of Sunday Ticket?
See, Knox one of those guys that pays so he can watch his Broncos every week, no matter what. Well, the Sunday Ticket, are you able to watch the stuff that Netflix is going to be showing?
No.
See, that's the thing.
No.
Then that's false advertising. You're not getting every game, right?
Yeah.
So how can they say that?
Any game on Prime, any game on Netflix, any game on, anything that's on those streaming services, we do not.
They're going to have to adjust that, I think. I mean, if you're going to pay that much, because the Sunday Ticket, Jason, is an expensive thing. Is it almost? It's
$300. It's $300 when it's on sale.
It's getting
right now it's
$300.
$300. At least it was, but when it's not on sale before the season starts, it's $400.
That's crazy, man. I paid for it a couple of years when I was bartending, or not bartending, but when I was working at Libby and Rhonda was still nursing. I mean, we had plenty of discretionary income, and I only did it for a couple of years. And then I found out what it was like to sail the high seas on the internet and said, screw that. Because it was expensive back then. It was like $250, but Now they're to his point, they're taking more and more games off of that, and he's paying that kind of money for it, and that price keeps going up every year, and they're taking more and more games off of it. So they're going to have to adjust something. They're going to have to. If they're going to sell a package like that where you can see every game, then they're going to have to say, "Hey, look, we have to show the Sunday ticket people these games. They have to be able to see them." You know what I mean?
Especially when it's like, so it's not like it's a crazy amount of people they have to like, give that up for.
No, there's not everybody in the world's getting that. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like you're sacrificing a few hundred, a few thousand or whatever, for people for this. Like, come on,
right?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so next up we have the first look at the Last of Us characters, man, from this season. We got Ellie and Joel pictures of them. Hang on just a second. There we go. That's Ellie from this season, and we got Pedro Pascal is going to be in it. Of course, it's going to be. We'll see what happens with it. I don't know if they're going to change. These are the only pictures they have, but they released them this week, and I'm looking forward to seeing season 2. Right up until we know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to spoil it for everybody who's never played the game. But
I was going to spoil it.
That moment is. I'm not looking forward to it, man. It's going to be hard to keep me on that show after that, man. Woof. But anyway.
Oh yeah, especially when your only one you have is this girl that just the worst casting.
Yes.
I don't mind her so much, but for this role, no.
No. She's a good. She's a good little actress, but
I don't like the show either way.
Yeah. Well, I thought season 1 was good. I think they did a good job on it. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought they were going to muck it up, and they really didn't. There was a few choices of changes they made that I didn't like.
Power to you that you enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
The biggest one, the gay relationship show. That was cool and all, but we missed a lot of the moments that happened between Ellie and what was the guy's name that lived? Bill. Yeah. We missed a lot of that from the game, which was pretty cool. But
it was to a show, it was way too early to put that in right there and then. They could have waited a little, explore the story a lot more. And not because it felt rushed and forced in there. Just like, we just have to do a filler episode with some gay stuff. It's like we already know the character is gay and all that in the games, but it's just like you could have waited a little bit longer and then just build up. You're like they meet each other first and then start talking, and then you have like an episode where you can go a little bit to the flashback story-ish, build it up in a way, in that kind of sense.
Right, but one thing I thought they could have done is they could have spread out the first game into 2 seasons. I really think they could have done that. They kind of, to your point, rushed. It did seem like they were rushing to get the whole first game into that. It was like a Reader's Digest version of the game.
And it's also when you have a few episodes, because that's the problem with a lot of TV these days, is that there's few episodes. You should go a little longer with the episodes. a little bit longer. And sometimes they just go to 9 episodes, 8 episodes, 6. They should go at least to a little longer so they can spread the story out a lot more, because it feels too rushed when it's so short.
I was telling these guys just recently, me and my wife, we pick one of our favorite shows to just watch from beginning to end. We've watched The Walking Dead a couple of times from beginning to end, and we just got done revisiting The West Wing again, and it's 7 seasons, but every season is 22 to 23 episodes, man. To your point, they had a lot of episodes every season, and they told better stories that way, I thought.
Did you watch the side series with the Daryl and all of them? Have you watched?
Oh yeah, my wife is one of those. If Daryl dies, we riot girls. She has met him. She has met him at a Comic-Con. She adores him. We've watched all of that. I think the next one that's going to be coming out is Book of Carol. It's the
season 2 of Daryl's.
It's season 2 of Daryl's spinoff, but it's actually
The Ones Who Live.
Yeah.
The
Ones Who Live was the last one they just did.
Yeah. I watched that one. What do you think of it?
I thought it was okay. I mean, I thought some of the stuff in it, I thought they really punked my man Rick Grimes a little bit in that,
Yeah,
but I like the way it ended. I just
yeah,
wish I thought it was kind of anticlimactic the way it ended.
yeah. No, I
Those
totally
people
agree
should have
with
been.
you.
I mean, all they showed was the family getting back together. How about all his friends? They would have loved
Yeah,
to fucking seen him at the end of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so it was a little bit anticlimactic at the end of it, but I thought it
yeah,
was okay. It was,
yeah.
but it's par for the course. The one I don't understand is Dead City. The one with fucking Negan
Oh,
and Maggie. I'm like,
yeah,
how is Maggie not killing this motherfucker as soon as everybody's
yes.
back turned? What the
Can we
hell is
just get a
going
show
on
with
here?
just Negan instead? I care a
Right,
lot more about him, and he's a
right.
fan favorite.
Yes, exactly. It's
Negan
crazy.
takes over New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin says, oh, where's She-Hulk and her golf club? Yeah.
Mm.
No kidding, man. It's going to break
No,
my
she would have
heart.
just done twerking. She would have just
Yeah.
done twerking instead.
Right. Right. Okay. So we've got that coming. I mean, there was a lot dropped this week, man. Let's see. The next story, a year into music. Check this out, man. This seems to be a new trend. Kiss sells their catalog, name, logo, and makeup rights for a reported 300 million. Now, if you read this article from Loudwire, you find out that this company, they're called Pop House Entertainment, has also owns ABBA's stuff, and they do a popular live Avatar show of
Yeah,
ABBA's stuff.
and that's what also Kiss is doing now. They also
Mm-hmm.
sold basically their rights for using AI, CGI stuff and like that. So it's kind of so funny because they kind of quit, but in a way they really didn't because they sold their voice and face and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing is that when these companies actually wants to make music, they are actually allowed to use AI, use their voices, everything to create whatever they want. I think it's a weird situation. I think it's just stupid. And with Kiss, the people who are in Kiss that was in Kiss the last right now, they care more about money than anything else. That's
Yeah,
all they
well, they're
care
all
about.
in their 70s, man. They're old guys now, and Gene Simmons outright said, "Look, the days of live Kiss shows is over.
Yeah.
They're done. They did
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, and they're done. They're finished. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're set for life.
That's
I mean,
that's why
Yeah.
I like Ace Fairley,
mhm,
the original star, right?
right,
Spaceman.
the Starman, yeah, mm-hmm,
Yeah,
yep,
Spaceman, and what I like with him is that he walked away from Kiss. He's doing his own thing,
mm-hmm,
and I remember him. He came out and talking about the whole thing when Kiss sold their rights and stuff like that. He's just like, that's not metal, that's
yeah,
not
that's
rock,
not metal, right?
It's
Yeah,
not-
yeah, but to look, one of the guys that's used to be a regular on this show, and he will be again once he's done with some stuff he has to handle. Matt from Small Time Republic, he said in the
Oh
show
yeah,
thread where we put this stuff together, he said, "Yeah, Gene Simmons is the ultimate capitalist. He will sell anything."
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, he would.
you can
That's
say
just
what
who
you
he
want
is.
about Kiss, but those guys have always been business minded. They've always
Yeah,
been all about making as much money
yeah,
as they could, man. Right
but
down to the merchandise. They had
yeah,
comic books made and everything,
yeah.
man. They were
It's
crazy.
like
Yep.
hate them or love them as people, but they were geniuses in a lot of other ways when it
Hmm.
comes to business. And they still made a lot of great songs. A
Oh
lot of great
yeah. You
songs.
kidding me? My brother growing up, he said, "Look, if it's not Kiss, it's crap." That was his whole
Yeah.
mindset. He was
Then
a
I
devout member
yeah.
of the Kiss Army, no doubt
And then I
about it.
can just say that one of the songs that we are releasing is actually a cover of Beth in our own
Really,
version.
that's a great
Yes.
one. That's a
So
great
yeah.
one. Uh-huh. What's the drummer's name that sings that? He had I think
Peter
he had a
Criss.
cat face, right? Peter Chris. Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Peter Chris.
Look for, but what I'm interested in seeing is what they're going to do with it. I mean, as technology gets further and further down the road, are we going to see
Yeah.
a holographic show of Kiss on
Oh
stage
yeah, at some
singing and
point that
stuff?
that might happen too.
Mhm.
As they did, what they did with Michael Jackson, for example, they had like a person who's dancing and they used CGI AI likeness
Yep.
on the face.
Mhm.
So probably they're gonna do something like that with Kiss at some point, or
Mhm.
holograms. It's gonna be a lot of different things they're gonna do later on because Kiss have approved it. So
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like I
go
don't
ahead.
understand the need for holograms where you could just paint up people and put them on a stage.
Well,
Just
Yeah,
you
look
just
know,
cool.
paint
they
their
wanted to make
faces
it
I mean, I don't.
make it look as much like the original guys as
yes.
they can.
Well, I mean, I imagine you can have artists, the face painters out there that can pretty much do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be too hard to obtain that without having to do holograms.
Look, if I wanted to take the time to dig it up, I could show you the guys that won our Halloween contest back in like 1999, and they were one of the best looking Kiss cosplayers we'd ever seen. Man, they won our Halloween contest at the club I was working at. You know,
Yeah, and now we have
so
like a kid called Jojo using Kiss makeup. She's a
mhm.
young kid who makes she made a song. It's not her song though. It was originally made for another artist, and the artist that
Mhm.
wrote it made a song of it. And then she basically just got the rights, and it was a kind of weird situation. But she uses the Kiss makeup too now. So
Wow, man.
like a Gene Simmons
Okay,
style.
so yeah, Mini Kiss. Everybody has heard of them. Yes, Mini Kiss. The midgets that dress up like Kiss. Well,
Yeah,
this is a perfect segue
they
for the
can
next.
take over. Let
Yeah,
them take over the full band.
you know it, man. But this is a perfect segue to what Knock brought us next. Google Project Astra, hands on, full of potential, but it's going to be a while. What is this all about there, Knockster?
Oh yeah. Martin, listen up. This is going to be your favorite subject.
Yeah.
So this I saw this earlier today, and I thought this would be interesting to bring up. So Google Project Astra is basically their AI camera AI
Mhm.
that they have, and I played a video before we started the show. I don't have it anymore, but you can look it up. You can look up when they talk about. But basically, it's the user goes around with the camera and just asks questions basically, and the AI uses the camera and remembers everything that it's watching. So it's basically taking in whatever they're pointing the camera at. So they would ask something like, "Hey, do you remember where I put my glasses?" And the phone would say back, "Yes, it's over on the table next to the red apple." And so they
Yeah.
moved over to the table where the red apple was, and there were the glasses. So it remembered where it was because it was capturing that video and analyzing it and all that shit. And I'm just like, holy crap, man, that's impressive and scary at the same time.
Right. Makes you think. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Right, it's just one of those things where it's like, is it always going to be recording, or do you have to hit a certain function, and then she put on some
Yeah.
Google glasses, and it's very innovative for sure, but it's just super scary. Like, when is it not recording? Where is that data getting sent to?
Yeah.
You don't have any control over it. Once it's
Nope, you don't.
there, and who can easily subpoena it? Kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
shit, you're worried about TikTok. I mean, holy crap. I mean, this is
Yeah.
It is sad with all the AI. That's the future, unfortunately.
literally inviting spying in your house, like, just for
Right.
fun. I don't even keep my laptop camera open when I go to sleep. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid with that. But
Mhm. I'm sure. Let's see. I suppose it makes a better spy. Affirmative. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But yeah, keep an eye on that, guys. It's called Google Astra. And go check out the videos on it. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. It was
Yeah.
helping solve problems on a dry erase board,
Yes.
building a computer and stuff. And
yeah, how would you fix this problem? And it would,
Mhm.
and Clay, we did talk about that before the show too. That they're definitely going to wrap it in. This is going to be helpful. I mean, but how many people have dementia that are buying these products? I mean, for
Right.
real, is it really
Yeah.
targeting them? Like,
I don't
No,
think it is.
like they might dress it up for that, but they're not the ones that are going to be buying.
Right.
So-
E. Clay Thomas says it's creepy for most people, but I could see it being useful for people with dementia or something like that. Let me tell you something. People with dementia at that age and stuff, they're not going to want to use this tech anyway.
No.
Believe that. They're going to be totally against it. But I could see your point there. It could be useful for them. Scary times we're living in, boys and girls.
I think my
Scary times.
favorite, as far as technology goes, when it comes to these phones, has got to be the translator. That's got to be the coolest thing, though.
Yeah. That look, there are some good things. Yeah,
Translation.
There are some good things you can use stuff like that for.
yeah.
But one thing I also know about AI that they've been trying to do lately and talking about is that they want to use AI because you have movies and TV shows and you say we have an old movie and they think it's offensive what they say and stuff like that.
Oh
And it's
yes.
made to redo the dialogue. So you will not notice it because the AI will fix it and all that. And that is unfortunately the future with a lot of movies at some point, and because they're already working on it. And I've seen people trying it out and how it works, and it's just like, no, it's gonna
Physical
ruin
media
so much.
people.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely want to get physical media of your stuff.
Old physical media,
Old
mostly.
physical media. Yeah, I wish I still had. I had them on VHS, but I had. I love my stepson to death, man, but he destroyed my discs of Star Wars when he was young, and it was the original cuts. It wasn't the the ones that they re-released. I mean, all you see now is the re-release stuff with the CGI added, and I had the ones without it. And
Even with A New Hope,
Yeah.
Disney did a re-release on that again with adding, dialogue and effects on it when Han and Greedo the shooting scene, and yeah, they use some AI stuff to fix the voice, and
Yeah.
even with the
I have
Kenobi
to,
show, I was gonna say with the Kenobi show, with Vader, that was all AI stuff. That it was not James Earl himself; it was just AI with the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I am curious to see how they a test for this AI would be how can they make Two Girls in a Cup PC?
Oh,
Oh
what?
God,
I
no!
would
What?
be interested.
What's wrong with you, dude? What?
All right, all right.
Okay.
Well, I
thought
thought we were
Wait
testing.
a
I
minute.
thought we were
Jed's not
testing.
here tonight, Knock. Okay.
Yeah,
Come
I gotta,
on, bro. You gotta channel
I
our
gotta fill
partner.
it.
Is
Yeah,
that what
I
you
gotta
gotta do?
channel. Yeah, I gotta channel it out.
Okay,
You'd
all
be
right.
proud of me right now.
We got to keep him alive.
John, if
on
you
this
haven't
show.
seen it, you shouldn't. You shall never see it.
Yeah,
Never
please
see it.
don't.
I've seen it.
No.
Oh God.
I
Okay.
haven't seen it, and there's a reason why. I found out what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Forget
watch
that.
it.
No.
Well,
Let's
if
move
AI's
on.
so good, I'm
Let's
just
move on to
saying.
the trailer war
Yeah,
that
please.
happened
Let's move on.
yesterday. And what I mean by trailer war is check this out, guys. The first one to drop was The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2. This one dropped, and I don't know. Does anybody want to watch this? I mean,
I had
No.
never finished the first season.
yeah, they
gave
were
up.
talking about that. How many? I think they said the numbers that they were putting out was like 30% of the people that watched the first episode didn't finish the series. I mean, it's just
And I can say it like this: the dislikes on the trailer.
Yeah.
It's insane with the dislikes for the trailer to season 2. It's mostly just dislikes on it.
Yeah,
That speaks volumes.
Yes, it
how much
does.
people don't want this.
Yep.
Well, and we kind of discussed it, me and Joe, before the show that they had to put this out. It was already contracted and paid. It was all like already done.
They're already
set in
working on
stone.
season 3.
Yes, they're working on season.
It's-
Well, that I don't know, but season 2 they were pretty much stuck with having to put it out anyways.
Yeah.
Despite how season 1 did. So.
Well, here's the other thing you got to consider too. One thing that Apple and Prime both have in common, they don't give a shit if people watch this or not. This isn't their main money maker. Prime makes most of their money on friggin' product. Okay. Apple makes most of their money on products, on the friggin' computers, the phones, all that stuff. They've got
I'm
more
an iPhone
money than they
user,
know what
so
to
I
do
know.
with. And they're just, they're making this stuff as a side thing, so they can do whatever they want with these things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, oh God, man, it's so bad. So yeah, we're gonna spare you this trailer, guys. We're gonna spare you this one. I'm not gonna show that one.
Yeah.
But
this
David Zaslav, this guy, I like him more. The more I see what he does, David Zaslav said, "Really, you're gonna drop that?" Well, then half an hour later, he drops the season 2 of House of the Dragon trailer. He says, I'm going to outdo you real quick. I'm just going to drop this. I'm going to leave this right here for you, So
this is something I'm excited for.
This,
I
I'm
like
sure,
season
yes.
1.
And I've got to tell you guys, while I switch this around real quick, I've got to tell you, I'm actually watching, and I'm sure Knock is proud as punch that I'm doing this, but me and Rhonda, after we finished The West Wing, we were trying to deliberate what we were going to watch next. And I'm actually deep into the second season of Game of Thrones. I'm actually finally watching it. And it is a good show. I understand why you guys wanted me to watch it so bad. But it's exactly what I thought. There's way too much tits and ass in it, man. I mean, and I'm a dirty old man, okay? And it's more than I'm.
They do scale it back in later seasons.
Yeah, but man, the beginning of it, my God, everybody was being led around by their penises. It was ridiculous, man. Watching that, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming storyline. You know, it's really good. I love this story.
I'll tell you what, Joe. You just have to stop at season 7. All right.
That's what I heard, and I'm gonna suffer through season 8. And
basically, they ran out because J.J.R. Martin doesn't know how to finish a fucking
and with that too, they also want to rush it. Hey, but they also want to.
He's letting you know what that show is full of, no doubt.
Yeah, but they also rushed the season because the original plan was also they were gonna make Star Wars movie stuff with Disney. And that did not happen because they also made a deal with Netflix to make some stuff, and they barely made anything on Netflix. They made like a few stuff here and there, but they came out, talked about their project, and now we have James Mangold basically doing what they were gonna do for this.
Well, what do you mean by rushed? I mean, what were they gonna go off of? Like, even if we had still waited, there's still no fucking book. Like, how long ago? It was been 10 years since that show ended?
They should have used more of their brain to actually expand on the story and just do something better, at least in my opinion. But they just showed that they didn't have a lot of brain cells to do that, and
I'm still gonna put this more on J.R.R. Martin.
That too.
Like, finishing
it. Yeah, finish the damn book.
That's why I'll never read the book,
dude. I will be 60. I will be 60, and the book, he's gonna be dead, and it's never gonna be finished.
Yeah,
it's gonna be AI.
Don't hold your breath.
Oh God, AI.
AI is gonna finish the book. Look, gonna sell his Jason, one thing we've done around here, we have a production company. Okay. God, what did I call it?
It's the Casablanca.
No, it's not Casablanca. It's the Mojo Dojo Casa House production company. Yeah, straight out of Barbie. Yeah, no doubt. And what we did one time is we sat there and used AI to write and cast these movie ideas we had, and we came up with some doozies, man. Hollywood should be afraid of AI because it can come up with some stuff.
Hollywood songwriter.
Yeah, that's the future. It's gonna finish Game of Thrones, so it's gonna be exciting to see what the AI will finish.
All right, well, let's check out this trailer real quick and see what it's all about, boys and girls.
The Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne is not just a king or a queen.
Wow, man, that throne looked a lot bigger. Wow, that's crazy looking. That's wild.
They are a protector of the realm. Now I find myself in an impossible position.
So this takes I've just started watching this, and the only Targaryen they show is the girl that's on the other side of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
With the dragons. Her dragons just got stolen in the part that I'm watching right now.
Danny.
Yeah. What is?
Danny.
Okay. Yeah. So
Daenerys is a real name, but
okay.
Yeah.
So this has to do with the Targaryens, the people that were first on the throne. Is that what this is about?
They weren't first. They were just. This is the house of their story.
Okay.
Aren't they the 5th or something in the bloodline or something in the
I don't know. This is hundreds of years before. Basically.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Or not 200. I think like 100 or something.
All hail King Aegon!
The enemy usurped my throne.
How come all the kings are teenagers? What's the deal?
Well, because the fathers are always old bastards that die.
That's just to get fucked up and die, right?
Yeah.
And most of the firstborns get killed and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
What are we going to do about it?
We must play the board before us.
Proceed cautiously.
Fuck. Fuck. There we go. Fuck.
Yes,
there
goodbye.
it is. Boom.
Damn it, Joe.
F-bomb.
Gotta pause it right there.
Perfect, man. Perfect pausing.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Oh my god.
Dignity. I want
That guy right
revenge.
there.
News spreads through the realm.
Ah, the dragons. Very cool. What's with the guy with the eye patch? The pirate-looking guy.
Yeah, he's
Who
one of
is
the
that?
brothers. He's
Yeah?
one of the brothers.
Yeah, it's one of
Okay.
the brothers, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
The great houses will come to our side.
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
Love Matt Smith.
That guy
here.
is
He's
the
such a
best
good
character.
actor.
Yeah,
Is he?
He's the bit. You're gonna love
Yeah.
him. You're gonna love
Yeah?
him.
And it's Matt Smith. Come on, he's a good actor when he has a good script and people.
That's the
behind
actor's
it, you
name
know.
is Matt Smith? Okay.
The actor,
Very
yeah.
Very
Matt
cool.
My ships sail at your command.
He used to be Doctor Who one time.
Really?
The realm's only hope is in a leader strong enough to unite it.
Yeah, this ought to be interesting. I don't know. I have to assume there's not going to be as much dragon play in the one I'm watching right now, but it looks like dragons are prevalent in this show. A lot.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
there is
Okay.
dragons in the show.
Pretty much anytime they show Danny, you're gonna see dragons in
Okay.
the upcoming seasons.
Cool.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
He didn't say nothing.
So he's the uncle, basically, right? His brother
Yeah.
was the king. So
Okay.
Yeah,
you'll find out a lot more about that relationship in the season 1.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And you know how Targaryens are and all that with the incest. You know how it is with them.
Well, that seems to be every house except for the Starks. Okay. I'm sorry. I mean, good God, that's what I'm seeing.
This senseless war must end.
Shall none of us prevail?
Not like this.
Alison,
Man, they don't mess
She's the
around with
queen.
the CGI in this, do they? That's
She
pretty
was
cool.
married to the king, so that's
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
told love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
The enemy without may be fought with swords.
Now,
Oh.
is the wall up in this part of the story?
Oh yeah. Well, it's been
Yeah?
up for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. yeah.
Okay.
The enemy within is more insidious.
There is more than one way to fight a war.
Oh boy. Yeah, what I'm interested to see, and there's, that may be leaning into it a little bit. I've noticed there's a little bit of witchcraft in this show too. That what is it?
The Red Witch.
Yeah, the red one. Yeah, that's hanging out with what's his name? Yeah, that's wow. When she gave birth to that smoke thing that killed that his
Yeah,
brother.
they don't go.
Oh my
They don't go
God.
too crazy. They don't go too crazy with it though.
Yeah. That shit of them riding them dragons looks cool as fuck. That is cool. I like that.
And it looks good too. The CGI looks good too. In
I'm an
House of-
old friggin' Dungeons and Dragons guy, and that just looks tough as nails, man. It really does.
War is coming, and neither of us may win.
I think it's
That
so
looks
funny that actress looks so much better in the show than what she does in real life because she's a non-binary and it looks like a guy in real life, but in the show
Really?
she actually looks
Oh, yeah.
good. Yeah, she looks good in the show, but in real life it's just like
No, she's
looks like a
acting
different person.
she's acting a woman basically in this one.
Wow.
yeah.
I'll tell you what, man.
I'm excited for season 2. I want it now. I'm
Yeah.
hyped for it.
Well, listen, Joe, I will say, warning and a little bit of spoiler warning for you.
Yeah.
Not story wise, really, but if you think the bump and ugly is as bad as in Game of Thrones, well, get ready to watch a lot of bursts in House of Dragon. Apparently, they love they love women giving birth. So have fun with that.
There's going to be bursting.
Births.
I know. It's a stand-up comedian said that it was a female stand-up comedian. I can't remember. I think her last name was Cho.
Margaret Cho.
Yeah, Margaret Cho. She was doing a bit about her sister giving birth. She had to help her.
Enjoy the placenta and all the good stuff.
No thanks, man. Oh god.
There's if there's a lot of that again in season 2, I'm going to be really mad.
Oh man. Well, all I can tell you is I'm enjoying the show so far. I am. It's what I thought it would be, but the story is much better than I ever thought it would be. I thought
you got to see what's his name die again. So it's
he got whacked
fun.
Again. You should have seen my wife when that happened. I cover this stuff, so I know some of what happens in the story. You know what I mean? And when he got whacked, she was just like, and I said, "Oh yeah, I've heard this game." I said, "I heard this show is worse than The Walking Dead. None of these characters are safe, man." Don't know when they're going to get whacked.
When it's Sean Bean too, he no matter what he's in, 90% of the time, he dies. So if he survives something, I'm always surprised.
Yeah,
right? I did read an article where it was like, is Sean Bean the most on death, whatever, and he actually won, but he's not. But it's still pretty funny though.
Yeah. It is funny, man. I can't remember who it is that actually has that moniker, but I couldn't believe it.
Keep talking and I'll find it.
Yeah, look it up real quick, because we looked it up on the show once before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not Sean Bean. It's hard to believe. Of course, I had to cover this one, man. Apparently, we got a release date for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's going to be in theaters summer of 2026. And you guys know I love Supergirl. That's my favorite DC comics character.
House of Dragons.
So, that's what I hear.
I'm so sad that it doesn't look like there's going to be flashbacks in this one, though. Well,
really?
They weren't flashbacks in House Dragon, but I want to see her again in that role. She killed it.
Yeah. I hear you.
All right, here we go. This is great. I love number one. Let's see.
What is it? You got it?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Number one, Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo has been killed 65 times on screen. Christopher Lee's number 2.
Christopher Lee. Yeah, this is great. John Bean, I think, was 23. I think I saw somewhere.
Really?
He's not even top 10.
But his deaths are so much more memorable, though. He dies in some
more
gruesome ways, man.
Yes.
Damn, Look at Kaylee Child's like, damn. But yeah, I just had to share that one about Supergirl, man, because you guys know how I am. I dig Supergirl. I know not everybody's into Supergirl like I am, but I do know another chick, and we've got the way we're going to wrap up the pop culture update from now on is we're going to talk about this young lady that everybody digs probably as much as I do Supergirl.
How do you want me to handle the Sydney issue?
The Sydney issue?
Well, we should have a consensus on how the White House is going to handle it.
Well, I certainly hope the Sydney issue refers in some way to a problem that we're having with Australia, because if it's anything other than that,
Mr. President, Ms. Sweeney, to see you.
Have her come in, please. I am finished here.
Yes, sir.
There is no Sydney issue.
It's time for this. We're going to change it to Sweeney Spot. We're going to call it the Sweeney Spot. Martin, we were talking about it before the show, and actually John had me calling it something else, and we changed it right before the show. But we're going to change it to that right there, the Sweeney Spot. Absolutely. Sydney Sweeney says she's itching to train and transform my body to portray boxer Christy Martin. Christy's story isn't a light one. It's physically and emotionally demanding, said the actress. This is a part that she signed up to play, and that's not the only one, boys and girls. She is going to also be playing the same part that Jane Fonda played
Yep.
many years ago, Barbarella. She's going to be in a
Yep.
Barbarella film.
And
And
I'm
if
happy she's getting more roles. I'm happy for
yeah,
her.
me
She
too.
deserves it.
Oh,
Me
she's killing
too.
it.
She won me over a while back with that sweater. I say a while back. It was only a couple of weeks ago. With that damn sweatshirt she put on.
It's
What was
crazy
it?
to think that
It's
she's younger than me. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah, and
She's
got a good head
26.
on her shoulders, man. She produces half of the stuff she's in. She's taking her
Yep.
money and spending it on herself, man.
Yep.
The last horror film she did, I think she plays a nun in it, and she produced that movie. So
Yep.
yeah,
Immaculate. Yeah.
yeah. But if you've ever seen Barbarella, guys, yeah, it's probably going to
I'm
be
really
like
excited to see her in that.
what's the
Like that's
Showtime? What's the Showtime show that she bears all in? Euphoria. Yeah, it's going to be like that.
Or the Voyeurs.
Yeah. Oh, is that really the Voyeurs? Oh my
The
God.
Voyeurs, the movie she's in. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna let you know what's the latest with Sydney Sweeney from now on, guys, because apparently, and look, I'm not usually into blondes too much. You know, my wife
Same here.
says I have a type. Every one of my wives, I've been married 3 times, and every one of them is a petite brunette. I've got a type. Okay,
Yeah.
my favorite wrestler ever, as far as females go, is AJ Lee. Why? Because she's a petite brunette. I mean, it's just I
Yeah.
dig them, but you know, I just dig this chick's attitude. She doesn't give a shit. She's just
Yep.
she is a young person enjoying her life
Yeah.
in what appears to be a healthy way to me.
Yeah. And
She's
she's
just
not
enjoying
afraid to
herself.
show off her body. She's not afraid. She
Mhm.
knows her. She knows she's hot. I watched that one movie she did. That she was also a producer on was Anyone But You. It's a
Yeah.
a normal,
Oh yeah.
normal, boring
We
love
reviewed
story.
it last
rom-com.
week.
Oh
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
rom-com. Yeah, it's a
It's a typical
stereotypical.
rom-com.
She's great in it. She's great
But
in
but
it.
we,
The
we, we
acting.
do get to see some nipple and a side boob from her. So I don't complain.
But you
Listen,
know
the
what's
Voyeurs.
funny? What's
All I
funny
gotta say.
that movie right there, and this will tell you the state of comedy. Period. That is the highest growing comedy of the last decade. Did you know that?
Yep. Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah.
That's because of the chick that's in it. I mean,
Yep.
I don't think anybody watched that movie for the guy that was in it.
No.
Although I like him, I think he's a good
Yeah,
actor. I think
he's a
he's
good
got a bright
actor, but
future. I think he was one of the best parts of that Top Gun Maverick movie. I thought he was fantastic in it.
yeah, he was good in Maverick.
Definitely the new Iceman. What do they call him? Hangman in that movie. But yeah, I like that guy. He's in the new Twisters film that's coming
Yeah.
out. Apparently a new trailer for that dropped. I didn't pull that
Yeah,
one
that
up.
it did. It did.
But I didn't pull that
okay.
one up. I figured we were already pretty trailer heavy. So, but yeah, that's it for the pop culture update this week, guys. And we will wrap it up from now on with, let's see, I think he said it earlier. Where is his comment earlier? Let's see. I know it's up here. What did he say? Yeah, he's. This is what Martin said earlier. He said, "I'm just here for the Sydney Sweeney section of the show." So yeah, we're gonna do it every week, buddy.
We're not going to talk about The Boys either.
Well, we can if you want to. I'll pull it up real quick. I didn't.
Well, just real quick. The Boys got renewed for season 5, even though season 4 hasn't dropped yet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
it did. Yeah.
Now-
I don't hate it. I like The Boys. It has a lot of issues here and there, but I heavily enjoy the show because it's my cup of tea. Really dark and all that kind of stuff. That's how I like a lot of superhero stuff. So
Yeah.
I heavily like it. I did watch Gen V. It's it's not good. There are elements in it that I do like, but there is a lot of woke elements that kind of ruins a lot of it.
Yeah,
But it
I
has
haven't watched
moments.
Gen V.
Yeah, it has moments, but rest in peace to one of the actors who was in the show. He unfortunately passed away in a motorcycle accident, and he
Oh,
was one of the main actors in the show.
really?
And they ended the show in a cliffhanger, and it was going to connect with the boys.
Yeah.
So now that's delayed. So it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward also with that.
Well, I don't know how you feel about that kind of thing, but I think just hearing what you're saying, they should recast the part because one
Yeah,
of my biggest issues, and you guys have heard me
yeah,
rant about this forever, but Black Panther, they should have recast that part. They shouldn't have done what they
yeah,
did with the sequel.
And give some respect to the person who played the character
Right.
before and all that kind
You
of
can't
stuff.
tell me that guy wouldn't want to see another young African American get a shot at a great role. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
of course, it doesn't
And
make
it's not
any
the
sense
first
to
time
me.
people have done recasting, and it's gone well.
How many people have played James Bond?
Exactly. How many have played Batman?
How many have played Batman? I mean, come on, man.
Superman.
How long was William Hurt dead before they replaced him with?
Yeah, Thunderbolt Ross's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Harris. Look. That I wonder what DC's think, or not DC, but Marvel's thinking half the damn time. They got a guy that passed away, and he really wasn't that. Yeah, he was a senior citizen, but he wasn't that old. And they got an even older guy to fill his shoes. By the time that movie comes out, he may not even be here anymore. God, I don't understand what they're doing there, man. Because Thunderbolt Ross is not that old a guy. He's not.
Nope.
I mean, anybody that knows anything about the military, he probably is in his 50s at the latest. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just, I don't understand what they're doing. But, The Boys, I've seen the first 2 seasons. I don't get to watch that one too much because, I'll have to watch it away from Rhonda because she's not a fan. She's not a fan of that show. I thought it was my favorite part of the second season was Homelander's dad. He was like a Captain America type, right?
Yep.
Okay, can't even remember the character's name, but I dug him.
Soldier
I thought
Boy?
he was awesome. Yeah, Soldier Boy. Thought he was badass.
I think it's so funny because in the comics, he's completely different in the comics. He's a guy who's pissing himself and all that kind of weird stuff. And in this show, he's completely different. He's more for Captain America dude. He's more of a Yahtzee and that kind of stuff.
I think it's funny. He's like he's an early 19th or 20th century guy, so he's like woman go make me a sandwich kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
I mean, yeah, man. He is totally testosteroned out, man. And it's awesome. It's awesome. It's really cool. Okay, boys and girls. The next up, we're going to talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I watched this earlier today, and I may have to purchase a ticket and go see it in the theater because one thing's for sure, they didn't scrimp on the CGI for this movie. It is a visually cool flick.
Okay.
I was not really. I'm a fan of the ape movies. I'm a fan of those movies, and once they wrapped up the Caesar trilogy, I thought it was pretty much done. I was kind of shocked they were making this movie, but it looks like, and we're not going to do any spoilers here, folks, but it does look like they're going to try and make it. Definitely had a cliffhanger ending to it. So we're gonna get another one.
More.
Of these.
I saw somewhere, and I could be wrong, but I thought I saw somewhere that they were like shooting for 9.
Really?
And they're already on 4, so they're
shooting for 9 of them, huh?
Yeah,
well,
we're gonna go for the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we're next is gonna be Apes 5, and then it'll be Too Fast, Too Ape, and then it'll be the Fast and the Ape.
Ape in space,
right? Well,
Return of the Ape.
If you saw the originals, I think wasn't there 5 of them, John? I think there was 5 that they made.
Yeah,
originally.
and I plan to watch them. Yeah,
70s and 80s.
5.
Yeah, and each time they got further and further along in the story. And this one right here, it looks like. Well, first of all, we've had a time jump. There's no spoiler there. It's about 300 years, I believe.
Yes.
Forward, and it's basically become the planet that Charlton Heston lands on in the first one. Is what it's really looking like. Yeah, the humans they're pretty much Stone Age, but what they focus on in this one is you don't really see the humans for almost an hour into the movie.
Really?
Yeah, you're seeing that there's different clans of apes, and just like human beings, they don't get along, and it's really a lot better than I thought. Kind of like Fall Guy we were talking about last week. It kind of drags at the beginning of it, But I have to give it this: the dragging at the beginning of it pays off in the third act. You know what I mean? The stuff that they take the time to explain to you, at least knock. Let me know if you feel differently. I thought that the stuff that they were showing with Noah, who is the main character's clan, and what they do, each clan does things differently, you know, and
basically it's like Avatar.
Yeah.
These monkey, their clan, they like birds. They really like birds.
Yep.
So they're like rite of passage just to go up in these high places and get snatch eggs from the bird's nest.
Yep.
You know, and then they come back and they have like an old treehouse with them.
Yeah. Let's see. Apes,
Yeah, they
Apes
all do their
Together
own thing.
family. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, in this new version, there was no nuclear war, so the planet is healthier and green. Yes, that's something that they really show, and it's really cool. But like I said, they didn't scrimp on the CGI. You know how we've seen some bad CGI out of the Marvel movies and stuff like that. They didn't scrimp on the CGI on this one.
That's good though.
It was. I mean, you can still tell it's CGI, but it's really detailed and really good.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
last movie was before this was War of the Planet of Apes, right? If I don't remember wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was war. Yep.
Does it connect well in the way with those two movies? or
Caesar
how-
has a legacy. He has a legacy, and they interpret it differently. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it, but the thing that's always said is stronger together or something like that. Wasn't that it, Knock? But they interpret this differently. I mean, the way that the Noah's apes think about that, the way the orangutans think about it, and the way that our ultimate bad guy, Proximus Caesar, thinks about it are totally different. Okay, completely different. But they say they use the same words, you know. And the thing that struck me about it, that I really dug about it, was that kind of like Thanos in Infinity War, Proximus Caesar sees that he's doing something for all of them. You know what I mean? And he's supposed to be the bad guy, but not in his mind. He's saving ape kind as far as he's concerned. You know what I mean? And
But he was right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, any great villain thinks he's the hero of his own story, right?
Yeah, like
and
Hitler.
Exactly right. And he comes across like that, man. And the girl that plays what was her name? I don't remember the.
Well, they call her Nova. They call all humans Nova, but,
right?
As they do in the old Planet of the Apes.
Freya Allen.
I can't remember, but her character, she plays Ciri in The Witcher, which I didn't even put that together.
Yeah. She's Freya
I was like,
Allen.
she looks so familiar, and she really looks a lot like the chick from the original Planet of the Apes too. Am I the only one seeing that?
You know,
let me see if I can find out
about it.
I don't know. I'd have to. I haven't watched. You're talking about the one with Charlton Heston? The original? God, you know how long it's been since I watched that movie, brother? I really couldn't tell you. But she may look just like her. I don't know. But what was striking to me was, this movie has a lot of there are pleasant surprises in it. There are some pleasant surprises. There's one. I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I really don't, because you're going to see an actor you haven't seen in a movie in a long time, and it's not from the Ape films. I think Knock probably knows who I'm talking about, but he's really good in it. And look, what I liked about this was it concentrated on the apes. It didn't concentrate on the human beings. This story was about the apes and what's going on with their society. They own the planet now, right? And they all have very different ways of looking at it, just like most of the countries and tribes of human beings that we deal with every day. The cultures, that's the word I'm looking for. You see different cultures in ape kind, okay? You know, Just like in humanity, you see several different cultures, right? You're seeing that in here. And I thought that was pretty cool. It's not the greatest one ever, but yeah, she does look kind of like her. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely similar. Yep. Absolutely, man. That's cool. You know what? I didn't even pick up on that, bro. But then again, I haven't watched that movie. God
So
almighty.
yeah, the only reason I meant because before I went to go see it, I did like I did like a 12-minute video, what to know before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oops.
You all right?
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of crept out on me for a second. No, but I watched like a 12-minute video of like what to know before you go see Kingdom of the Planet Apes kind of thing from like Screen Crush or one of them.
Right.
That go kind of into the backstory. And I saw her, they showed her and Charles, Heston, all that good stuff and stuff like that. So, no, that's the only reason I saw that. Once I watched this movie, I was like, oh, she looks kind of similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what did you think of it, Knock?
Well, I gotta tell you, and I did get up early on Sunday when we planned to do, because we kind of did it all of a sudden. I was like, hey, you guys want to go see this movie? And yeah, let's go watch it.
Yeah.
So we did 11 was it 10:45 showing on Sunday, and it was I did 2.5 hours is a long time. So I was definitely, there was times where when it was slow, I was falling asleep a little bit. Kind of, and I don't think because it was boring. I think I was just tired, but because it did drag on a little bit when there were slow times, that I got a little tired in those sections. But the movie itself was pretty awesome. It was cool to see, because the orangutan in that photo that I was showing is kind of like a disciple of Caesar, and he's showing Noah. Noah's is kind of like the new Caesar in a way. Not that he does anything, like he takes over anything like that. I'm not trying to spoil it, because he does it and everything.
But he's definitely the focal point of the story.
But he's the one with like a moral compass in the show.
Yes.
That who best relates to Caesar in my view. He learns more about humans. He has the biggest character development in the show. Well, he
does.
So it makes sense that he does. But there's a lot of growth there. He's learning things about, because where they think the Novas come from, it's a forbidden place, kind of thing. There's a lot of forbidden, knowledge going on.
Yeah.
But
that's his culture
cool.
now. That's his culture. That you just have to see what we're talking about. But they definitely have different cultures. Go ahead, Knock. I didn't mean to.
No, it's good. I have too much more, but yeah, no, I just think, and so it's connected in the way of Caesar's legacy, but it's twisted into whatever means of that group.
Right. They definitely have different ways of interpreting it, no doubt.
Yeah, and so and there are some interesting things at the end. I know in the original, not the original, but the 2015s or whatever, the James Franco series,
right?
There was a spaceship that did take off in that show or in those movies. So are we gonna, in a future movie, are we gonna get those guys returning, kind of thing?
Yeah,
and it basically being a Charles Heston kind of thing.
Right, the Charlton Heston thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I always wondered, because this definitely had a virus being the core of it, and the change and everything. And I was wondering myself, because the original, they were on a mission, I think, to Mars, and they ended up going through a wormhole or something and coming back to Earth. Only it was thousands of years later. And, I was wondering how they were going to bring that into this series, with it being a virus that changed everything.
Yeah, because that's also how James Franco's character died. That was explained in the second movie, because he was not going to return in the movie. So he died with the flu thing that they made in the show. In the movie.
Yeah, it didn't kill all the humans; it wiped most of them out. But
and it took care of Woody Harrelson, which is a shame. But
a shame, But yeah, I would recommend this one, and I believe,
and in theaters too, for sure.
Yeah, in theaters. Yeah, I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna take Foxy to see this one probably this weekend. Because
nice.
And if you get a chance, watch the other three first too. I think I don't think it's absolutely necessary to, but it would help with some different perspective of where Caesar really came from, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what his beliefs were, and then what are the beliefs of these apes 300 years later that are using his name. I think that's a very interesting perspective.
Yeah, I thought they did well with this one. It's refreshing to see them do some good CGI in a flick, and it wasn't a nightmare. You know, they concentrated on the environment and the characters making the apes look real, and it really paid off, man. I thought it was very cool. Some of the fight scenes in it. Oh my God! When the gorillas get to pounded on something, that's what you've seen. You've seen it on friggin' National Geographic 100 times how they act, and it looks just like it, man. It's pretty cool.
That's
stuff.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, it's kind of funny. I don't know that we've lowered the bar so much, but this movie right here, like even 10 years ago, would have been middle of the road. You know what I mean? But because it actually does some things well, we're giving it a lot of praise. But, you know, as far as the theater experience, this is one to see in the theater. Yes. I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I will take up on that offer. Maybe I should try to do that at some point next weekend.
Check it out, man. I know you like movies in the theater. You'll dig it.
Yeah. I've seen the other movies, and I might not be the biggest fan of those kind of movies, but what you told me, you know, it does sound interesting and a different take that I've not heard before. So yeah, you sold me.
Yeah, I tell you, man, the biggest plus about this movie to me is that you see different cultures of apes. They have different cultures.
Yeah.
And they believe different things, and it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing we got to talk about tonight is the passing of a Titan. I don't care what anybody says. This guy made movies for several decades. Roger Corman passed away this week at 98 years old. Born in April 5th of 1925, man. And this guy, look, if you don't know about this guy, he wasn't afraid to make a movie on a shoestring budget. Let's put it that way. And he was actually in a lot of different, look, if you look at his filmography, the biggest section of it is, I think his acting one. He was an actor in a lot of movies too, not just his own. And Chris has made it here at the end of I invoke Roger Corman, and here comes the independent filmmaker. Yes, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, brother.
Yeet.
Yeet. Yes,
yeet.
That's right.
Yeet.
You know it.
Hey, I said yeet before it was popular.
That's right. That's right. My
I
daughter,
had to...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just had to drop in for this because, of course, Roger Corman is going to be like, I mean, there would be no me without Roger Corman, at least in the way that we know it. But I've only got a few minutes, but I had to be here for this segment. I just got finished with work and running errands. So it was great to see you guys. It's
good to see you, Chris.
Hey,
good meeting you, brother.
Roger Corman is perhaps one of, if not the most influential filmmakers in history.
Well,
because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, or James Cameron, just to name three big names.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. He gave them all their break. He gave them all their first shot.
Their first shot. Yep.
Exactly.
Gale Ann Hurd. Yeah. I mean, he pretty much built the Hollywood. Not today's Hollywood, but the Hollywood we knew, like in terms of 70s, 80s, 90s, were all alumni of what people would call the Roger Corman Academy.
Or the Roger Corman Film School.
Yep.
Yeah, Roger Corman Film School. It was acknowledged on... so one of my favorite movies is Aliens.
Of course.
And it was acknowledged on the movies that made us. They did an episode on Aliens, and they interviewed Roger Corman talking about James Cameron. And as you read his stuff, I mean, Roger Corman was the guy that used to tell filmmakers, if you're going to go shoot on location, bring an almanac for that region, so you know what the weather's going to be for your shoots. And Francis Ford Coppola called up Roger Corman and said, "Hey, I'm going to shoot this movie called Apocalypse Now. Got any advice?" And Roger Corman said, "Yeah, don't go. This is going to be hurricanes there." And he went anyway.
Yeah, and we know how that worked out for him. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I totally butt in. You were about to say something. You had something pulled up.
Oh, dude, I've got plenty of stuff pulled up. We're going to talk about this guy till the end of the show. But what struck me was what's that, buddy?
Let's say one of my favorite movies is a Roger Corman film.
Yeah, and I believe I've got it pulled up here. I pulled up 3, and these are interesting for a couple of reasons. One, The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
now,
yes.
what I hate about what we're seeing here is that's colorized. This movie is in black and white. The original's in black and white. And this, yes, the musical version with Rick Moranis is based on this film right here. But the thing that's always remembered about this original here is a young actor that kind of ended up doing okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Played, if you've seen the musical version of Little Shop of Horrors, he played the Bill Murray part. He played the freak that wanted to get his teeth screwed up by the dentist. You know, he played the freak in it. That's what I call him, the freak. But yeah, Jack Nicholson got his start on a Roger Corman film called Little Shop of Horrors.
It's so long since I've seen it.
It's a beloved classic, that so much so that they made a musical about it. I mean, you know, it's a pretty. The original's worth watching. It is. It's cool. It's not a musical, but it's just an old horror movie, you know. But it's got some memorable people in it, and Jack Nicholson was memorable in it, no doubt about it.
And again, in 48 hours.
Yeah. Shot in 48 hours.
And
that's
also,
the thing. You look at his friggin' filmography, like 1955, there's like 10 movies he released in that year. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. And you know, he had a lot of love and passion and so much when he made this kind of stuff. And you know, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, he loved them all. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, I was just gonna say there's so many. If you read his book, there's so many great stories. Like you know, for Little Shop of Horrors, they went out just with cameras on Skid Row to get footage and to just shoot some of their stuff. Because the it's all a bunch of drug addicts and stuff. They didn't care. But there was one of my favorite Roger Corman, just in terms of like getting people off the street stories, was there was a some 80s movie, like sci-fi movie, where they wanted the actresses to have nude scenes, and the actresses that like started to get, they agreed to it at first, but then they started being like, I don't want to do a nude scene, started to get kind of prima donna, and on their shooting schedule they can't afford that. Right. And the director is calling up Roger going like, they don't want to do the nude scene, and he's like, that's fine. He's like, I just want you to go down to like, Hollywood and Vine, where the prostitutes are. Right. I want you to find the most ghastly looking prostitute you can, bring her on set and tell her this is going to be your body double. And
really?
Oh man. Yeah.
So and she's like, no, that's not going to be fine. I'll do the scene, but that's not going to be my body double.
I think the book is How I Made 100 Movies and Didn't Lose a Dime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's the one.
I have to check that out.
I need to read that.
Yeah.
It's essential reading if you want to be, even in this day and age, if you want to be a director. A lot of it is just, his intuition. And that's what you really need if you're going to be an independent filmmaker, work on budgets and that sort of thing. Just the intuition to know how to tell a good story, how to do it on a budget, how to do it on schedule. I heard that Roger Corman's funeral is actually going to be ahead of schedule and under budget. So to this day,
even in the final days, even then,
it's how he would have wanted it.
Yes.
Well, the next one I wanted to point out is, I think, the movie that John is talking about. And by the way, Knock, if you ever heard us talk about this, whenever Rebel Moon came out, this was the original version of Rebel Moon.
Oh yes,
Battle Beyond the Stars. I called it John Boy in Space because you know, the guy that was playing John Boy on the Waltons
Richard
was
Thomas.
the main character in it. He was the one going around and getting the 7 samurai together to defend his planet. But yeah, this movie right here, he was trying to capitalize on the Star Wars thing, you know, but I thought it was a cool movie. And they famously reused some of the special effects shots from this, didn't they, in another movie, Chris?
Oh, in multiple movies.
Yeah.
In multiple movies. They reused it in Galaxy of Terror. They reused the sets in Galaxy of Terror simply by taking the flats for the spaceship and turning them upside down.
Yeah.
Built by James Cameron. My former boss at Studio ADI, Alec Gillis, also worked on this film, and Alec is responsible for getting James Cameron his job at Corman Studios. Last time I visited Alec at Studio ADI before they shut the doors on that one, they actually had the Nell spaceship miniature there. They were refurbishing it for James Cameron.
Wow.
For his office. They had that, and they had the Walker, the original power loader from Xenogenesis. And I kick myself for not asking if I could take a few pictures of it. But
yeah.
Battle Beyond the Stars is amazing. Sybil Danning was probably the first time I went, oh, there should be sexy women in sci-fi movies.
Right?
And you know, when you're a kid and you're watching these things, they're either on TV or you know, you're renting them from the video store. You know, Star Wars was all the craze, and I was a huge Star Wars nut. But you go to the video store, and as a little kid, you didn't notice the difference in quality between Star Wars and Battle Beyond the Stars, or like Metal Storm, or what else was there? Ice Pirates.
Ice Pirates is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't know the difference because this was the beginnings of those kinds of movies. We hadn't seen this before. You know,
it was an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, I've told several people that, you know, like Knock, that knows more about Star Wars than I ever will and stuff. I'm like, you know what, though? I've got one thing on you. You will never know what it feels like to see that Star Destroyer just continuously go over your head for about 20 seconds at the beginning of that movie when nobody had seen anything like that before.
Shut up, dude. You know? My dad says the same thing all the time.
And you hate it, don't you? Don't you?
I hate it when I get it in my fucking face. Sorry for swearing, but goddamn, bro. My dad has done that since I was a kid because I'm a huge Star Wars fan myself. And my dad has always used that. It's like, yeah, no, I used to sneak in and all that, you know, with the first movie, the second, you know, I snake, you know. I'm like, God damn, shut up, dude.
But yeah, Martin says, hail the boob ship. And if you look at the if you look at the poster, yeah, it's got boobs on the bottom of the ship.
Yes.
But yeah, that's one of the movies that I really dug, and I do remember seeing some of that actual ship and a few other of the shots in some other movies. Man, it was pretty cool.
Well,
he knew how to do things on a budget, for sure.
Wasn't John Saxon also in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Saxon.
Yeah.
That movie right there had John Saxon, had George Papard. Wasn't Robert Vaughn in it too?
Robert Vaughn was in it, playing the exact same character he played in The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It was crazy
Sorry
stuff,
about
man. It was a really good movie, man. If you've never seen that flick, add and Knock, if you haven't seen it, add it to the Knock.
Oh, I have seen it.
Check it out.
I like the movie.
Yeah.
That and Galaxy of Terror, which is the testing ground. Roger, essentially with Battle Beyond the Stars. So here's what happened. They were behind schedule on the effects, which is unacceptable for Roger Corman. So sorry if I hope that's not too loud. Can you hear that?
Nah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yep.
Noise cancellation is good. So this is a story, like I'll start off with the known story, which is that Gail Ann Hurd was an assistant for Roger Corman, and they were behind schedule with the effects, so they sent her down. James Cameron saw it as an opportunity to like hop in front of someone from Roger Corman and kind of like, position himself correctly. It was planned.
Right.
So she thought he was in charge, but it turned out that someone else was in charge that was nowhere to be found. So Roger Corman's just like, well, this guy seems to know what he's doing. Fire the other guy and put this guy in charge. So they put James Cameron in charge. James Cameron used that and then Galaxy of Terror as an opportunity to test out what his ideas were that he wanted to use in his own movies. So like his experiments with rear projection, which he used in Aliens. If you watch Galaxy of Terror.
Oh, he used it in Terminator too. He used it in the original Terminator. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, but Alec had a story that I love, which was it's like, even then, James Cameron, as soon as he kind of got a little bit of positioning to do what he wanted, he was already kind of like that ego-driven, like, he says, Roger Corman is the only person I've ever seen fluster James Cameron. So Roger Corman showed up because, again, James Cameron, being a perfectionist, was taking a little too long. And so Roger Corman showed up and looked around, and it's like, they just finished painting the sets. Like, the paint was still wet. And Roger Corman's like, these are ready. Roll them out and let's get shooting. And he wasn't, remember, James Cameron wasn't the director. Yeah. And James Cameron was like, Roger, I don't think they are ready. And Roger Corman just turned to him and said, then you'll be fired, and walked off. And so James Cameron was like, went running after him, going like trying to reason with him. But it's like Roger Corman would not budge on that. And honestly, good for Roger Corman. But literally, Alex said they rolled the flats on when the actors were waiting, and they were like telling the actors, like, okay, see this panel here? While you're acting, don't lean on it because paint's just going to come off on your wardrobe. That's how stripped down Roger Corman was. And I got to say, aside from all the wonderful, and I love every single sci-fi movie that he put out. I mean, some of them are objectively terrible, but they're still entertaining. Which Zack Snyder, but there's also a large amount of some really great barbarian, like Conan knockoff movies in that period as well. And there's one. Okay, so he knocked off Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven for Battle Beyond the Stars, which worked beautifully, I thought. And then he knocked off Fistful of Dollars for Yojimbo for a David Carradine sword and sorcery movie called The Warrior and the Sorceress, which is like beat for beat A Fistful of Dollars. And David Carradine had a story.
And we lost
script.
him. Where'd he go? There.
Oh,
okay.
am I still there?
You dropped out for a second. Go ahead.
Okay. I didn't want to lose you, and I do have to go in a minute, so I'll finish this story, and then I'll bid you adieu. But I'm really.
You got to start all over. You have to start all over. Entire thing,
all over everything.
Go ahead.
So, anyway, so David Carradine, after reading the script, called up Roger Corman and said, "Hey, this is just a knockoff of Yojimbo. Aren't you afraid you're going to get sued?" And Roger Corman's like, "Oh," he's like, "You know what? When A Fistful of Dollars came out, they asked Kurosawa, like, hey, are you going to sue this Leone and Clint Eastwood guy for?" Because I think Clint Eastwood was even a producer on A Fistful of Dollars, if I remember correctly. But
he may have started Malpaso by then. Yeah, he might have.
But they said, like, they asked him, like, hey, you gonna sue these guys? They ripped off Yojimbo. And Kurosawa said, like, no, hell no, I'm not gonna sue him, or else Dashiell Hammett's gonna sue me. I just ripped off Red Harvest.
Yeah, man. I mean, these guys all get their inspirations from great storytelling, man. That's all it is.
It's all in how you tell it. But I'll just say this before I go. The thing about The Warrior and the Sorceress is they shot it, I think, in Italy, where they could convince actors, like, yeah, your character's just going to be walking around naked the entire movie. The entire movie, the sorceress is just, because it takes place on another planet. It's supposed to be like another world with, like, I don't remember if they did the Two Suns thing or something like that, but the David Carradine in a loincloth with a sword. already like losing his hairline, much like myself, and this like naked Italian chick for the entire movie, and that was Roger Corman.
Hey man, the guy was a genius.
He was.
Nobody, you look, he squeezed as much as he could out of time and money. He did the best you can do with the kind of money and time. I mean, it was nuts. And you could see in Cameron, in his initial movies, like when they made Terminator. I mean, I remember watching a behind the scenes thing with him and Arnold talking about, we were hoping we didn't get arrested. The scene where he punches in the station wagon window and steals the car.
Yeah.
He said, we shot that on the street, didn't tell anybody we were doing it. We were just hoping the neighbors wouldn't call the cops on us, you know?
That would be funny if that happened.
Right? Yeah.
Their last day of shooting was the shot of them going, Sarah Connor driving off into the storm in the desert.
Yeah.
He said, after all the no permits in the streets of Los Angeles, that sort of thing, they're in the middle of the desert. No cars come up and down this road in ages, and they're set up and they're shooting. And like this tiny dot of a car is like coming up the road while they're shooting, and they're just watching it and watching it and watching it. And it's a cop, and he stops. And he's like, "Do you guys have a permit?" So,
Well, Chris,
but there's also, there's so many stories to tell. But I'm really, first of all, thank you always for leaving the door open for me. I almost never get to come on, but I had to like take a moment because you guys look like you're having such a good time.
I know you dig this guy, so I'm not surprised you showed up, dude.
Thank you very much for coming in and letting me tell my stupid jokes. And
Great, Chris, you come back anytime you want to and tell your stupid jokes, buddy. Okay?
All right, gentlemen.
Nice
have a great one.
Yeet. We're gonna yeet. Here, bud. The last one I want to show you guys is a movie that he was contracted to make so they could keep a franchise. And it's the famous Fantastic Four movie that never saw the screens. But you can actually see this movie now. I'm not sure where you can download it in different places.
You can watch it on YouTube also, and it's almost all everywhere. So
yeah,
It is the best Fantastic Four movie ever.
That's what I've heard, and I've never seen this thing. But
what?
I've never seen it. That this is one of the ones.
We cannot be friends anymore, man.
No. God, I'm the worst. I know. But yeah, I need to sit down and watch this one because I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, and I've heard that from several people that it's the best.
I heavily liked it, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheesy as far as the effects and stuff, but from what everybody tells me, it captures the story of the Fantastic Four better than anything else they've ever made. So,
can we say comic accurate characters?
Yeah, you see Dr. Doom right there in the preview, man. Yeah, he looks like Dr. Doom, right? He doesn't look like some metallized friggin' skeleton or something. He looks like Dr. Doom with the robe and all that good stuff.
Yeah, this is how they should have done it in the new movies too, man. This is how they should have gone for it, and I will agree with that. Even I do like the two other movies with Jessica Alba and stuff. It's like a guilty pleasure, of course, because I grew up on them. But this one is the best Fantastic Four movie that we do have in live action.
And when you do watch it, you got to remember when it was made. It was made in '94, I think, and they had just started CGI, so there wasn't any CGI in this movie.
I think it was good for its time.
Yeah,
for its time, this was good.
Yeah,
but storyline, it's better than anything that's been put out by Fox.
Yeah, I imagine. Is it an origin story on the Fantastic Four? Is that what it is? Oh, cool. All right. Well, I'll have to check it out. But our man Roger Corman, if you haven't seen his, go check out his filmography, man. He has got more movies you can shake a stick at. He only directed 56 movies, but he produced a whole lot of them. Dude, if you look at his filmography, some of especially when he first started making movies, he was putting out 10 a year. I mean, this guy he wanted to get stuff done, man. Let's see. Oh God, Frankenstein Unbound. That was terrible. Yeah, I believe that's the last one he directed. It was after, I think that's the one he did after Battle Beyond the Stars, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah, we lost a Titan in Roger Corman. There'll never be another one like him. There really won't. So yeah, definitely wanted to say something about him, and I'm really glad Chris showed up because he's an independent filmmaker, and I know he loves that guy. And he's right. He could have sat here and told stories about that dude for a while. I've seen him on other shows talking about Roger, and he loves him. Okay, boys and girls, we've hit the 2-hour mark, and you know what that means. I've got a steak coming, so we got to wrap this thing up. Jason, is there anything you would like to push before we get out of here, buddy?
Well, tomorrow on Thursday, we are gonna do the Beyond, where we talk about pop culture and what's going on in pop culture and a lot of this kind of stuff tomorrow. And on Friday, I normally am on Comic Relief Crusaders stream, but unfortunately, I will not be there this Friday because it's 17th of May, our national day in Norway. So I'm gonna be with family and stuff like that. But at later that night, I will be on a Legion Talk News, aka Ryan, a good friend of mine. I think I'm gonna be there at least on Friday after I'm done being with family and stuff like that. And then of course it's the next week we will do this. We repeat the cycle of the same stuff happening that week, and also working on some music and some other projects that will be out at some point. So yeah, thank you for having me on. It was a lot of fun. And before we wrap it up, I always like to say, just remember, life's too short. Make the most of it. And we on this panel, we love you. We appreciate you. And none of us would have been here today if it wasn't for you guys out there. Thank you for the love and thank you for the inspiration, everybody. You mean the world to us.
Thanks a lot, Jason. I appreciate you being here, man. The door is always open for you. You come by anytime you want to, man. We do this every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, so you just come on by. Speaking of that, let's let you know what's going on with the channel. You know you're watching State of the Atmosphere. This is our pop culture show where we talk about everything that's movies, video games. It was more movie-centric today because we did have the passing of an icon, Mr. Roger Corman. But we talk about streaming shows, all the stuff we dig, man. Entertainment is a thing I really love, and always talk about it at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on State of the Atmosphere every Wednesday. Later on tonight, it's going to be Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. And tonight I'll be continuing my playthrough of Mass Effect. I'm on part 6 now. Don't mind that thumbnail. And pretty sure Martin will be on with me. Jed may not be. He told me he wasn't going to be able to make it today. He's got some things going on. But come check it out at 10 p.m. Central Time. Me doing a messing up Mass Effect. I'm doing okay at it, but boy, don't make me drive that tank anymore. That hurt. But anyway, the next time you'll see me after that is Sketching the Privateer, Friday afternoons at 1 p.m. Central Time. I'm working on the alternate cover we're going to have, the family portrait, if you will. It's right there on the thumbnail to the left there. That all the characters in the Privateer family are modeled after members of my own family, and I've wanted to do this portrait for a long time, so I figured I'd take a break from working on the book and make the portrait, and we're going to turn it into a cover. I should be done with the sketch on this, be able to show it to you Friday, and get to work on the digital part of it. I'm using Procreate on the iPad, so come check that out. Sketching the Privateer, an amateur comic book guy doing his first comic book, every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then our good buddy on the panel here, John Das Wolfen, he plays games on Pop Culture Minefield every Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Knock, ride shotgun with him. So does Martin. And he's playing through the Telltale series of The Walking Dead, the entire series. How many chapters is it, John? 4 or 5? Something like that?
There's four seasons basically.
Okay,
with
4
a
seasons.
DLC and a spinoff.
Okay.
With Michonne.
So you're still on the first game, right?
Yeah. I'm getting
good gaming franchise.
Yeah. Go check that out every Friday on Pop Culture Minefield's channel, Gaming Night with John, as he plays through the Telltale series of The Walking Dead. And then on Sunday, you can check out me and Highlander as the brothers hack the Matrix. We get together every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you want to laugh with your news and not watch 60 Minutes that's so serious, come check out the clown show that is 2024 through today's headlines, as Highlander and I hack the Matrix every Friday at 5 p.m. or excuse me, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time. And then on Monday, it's my busiest day of the week, but I'm never on my channel. I start on Pop Culture Mindfield's channel with Morning Coffee with Gary and Anima. It's Military Monday. I'm a vet, so is Gary, and we talk military movies. The one we did last week was Danger Close, the Battle of Long Tan, happened in Vietnam, has to do with Aussie troops. And check that out. I'm not sure what we're doing this Monday. I haven't gotten it from him yet, but we will be doing another military movie on Monday. So come check that out Monday mornings on Pop Culture Mindfield's channel, Military Monday. And then at 3 o'clock on your side of the pond, Jason, my good friend Ryan Roger Athay and I get together and we talk wrestling, the history of wrestling, that is. I think we're going to be talking about WCW this time on Reality-Based Wrestling Monday Nitrous. That comes your way at 3 p.m. Central Time here in the States. Every Monday afternoon on Ryan Roger Athay's channel. And then, I do It's Only Talk and Roll on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central Time on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And this week, it's a meeting of the Canon Film Club as we do the 1990 version of Captain America. That should be a lot of fun. What's that? What'd you say?
The rubber ears.
Yeah, rubber ears.
Rubber ears. Yep.
Yeah, check the ears, man. It's too funny. I always remember the motorcycle in this one. That's what I always remember. But we're going to do the 1990 Captain America. Come check it out on That 70s Rock Fans channel at 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday. And then we're right back around to Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central, another edition of Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. And I'm going to be getting together with Lunatic and playing some DC Universe Online. And then it's right back around here to State of the Atmosphere again on Wednesday. So, for myself, the Knockster, Das Wolfen, and Jason Fox from 540 Studio, I want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless. Yeah, I think the Sweeney spot is going to work for that. The wet spot was a little deep in.
You guys, little too much.
Little too much. Little too much.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
All right, boys and girls.
10 o'clock show.
We'll see you next time, boys.